purpose of this video tutorial is to help you find digital resources that are credible and reliable. It is my goal that by the end of this school year, you can search for and locate good digital resources quickly and efficiently. Google Advanced Search allows you to filter or narrow down your searches. This can be a powerful tool to help you find information that you need to research and not all information that's available to you on the topic. Google Advanced Search allows you to include or exclude words when you search. To access Google Advanced Search, type in Google Advanced Search in the URL box. So I'm going to highlight that and simply type in Google Advanced Search. I did this already, so that's why mine showed up. And then I'm going to hit enter. Now I see Google Advanced Search as one of my options. I'm going to click on that. Now that I'm here, I can bookmark this so that I can easily access this later. Why don't we do that? To bookmark this, click on the star in the URL box to bookmark this page. So now it tells me what it's going to be called and where it's going to be located. So I'll just click done. Yours will probably show up along here. I have lots of different bookmarks already created. That's why mine did not show up. Alright, let's first look how to include words in our search. Typing a search in the All These Words box will pull up websites that include all of the words in your search. An example would be if I searched American Revolution battles. So I'm going to type in American Revolution battles. Let's see all of the sources that appear. I'm going to just click enter. So we see lots of different American Revolution battles. Let's look how to exclude words from our search. So I'm going to simply go back and we're going to stick with our search of American Revolution battles. We can narrow our search of American Revolution battles by typing in the None of These Words box. So that's right here in the None of These Words box. I'm going to exclude battles at Lexington by typing minus Lexington. Now I'm going to click enter. Notice there are fewer results. This information should fit more of what I need to know. Google Advanced Search also allows you to narrow your search results by the last update. This allows you to view the most current or up-to-date information on the topic you are researching. We need to go back to our Google Advanced Search to see how to filter this by the last update. So I'm going to click the back button. So I'm going to need to scroll down a little bit to find last update. Click on the drop down and let's click on past year. So I'll click on this drop down and I'll click on past year. Let's click Advanced Search. We can further filter our search by clicking on the drop down that appears. So where it says sorted by relevance, click on that drop down and click sorted by date. This allows us to see the most current post with that information. But notice some of these posts are not going to be as relevant. We want to use this search feature because it will allow us to get the most up-to-date information. Finally, Google Advanced Search allows you to search by domain. Domain lets you know who or what group is the host of the website. Domains give us an indication to the type of source of information. You are probably most familiar with the domain .com. Be careful using .com websites for research because these are for commercial sites and are often trying to sell you something. A domain that ends in .edu is typically hosted by a university or educational institution. Again, we need to go back to our Google Advanced Search. I'm going to click back. I have to click back one more time. So back here on our Google Advanced Search, we see there is a section for site or domain. I want to limit this to .edu. So in here I'm going to simply click .edu and then I'll click Advanced Search. Notice all of these websites now end in .edu. Using the domain filter will help you find strong resources. Google Advanced Search will help you research this year. You will be able to create better searches that help you find what you are looking for by using this feature. Google Advanced Search allows you to include or exclude words, search by the last update, and filter the domains. Searching the internet for resources and answers is an important skill to develop for this class. Most of your research for this class will be web-based, and therefore we want to look at how to do this well to save time and find the best possible resources to fit our needs. You will be presented with questions to answer and asked to use the internet to find these answers. Look for the main idea to search in each question. Avoid typing the whole question into the search bar. For example, if I asked you to describe the key battles from the American Revolutionary War, the main ideas would be key battles and American Revolutionary War. Type those into your search and not describe the key battles from the American Revolutionary War. Sometimes when you search the main ideas from the question, you will not find what you are looking for. A synonym is another word that has the same meaning. An example would be substituting conflict for war. Substituting synonyms in your search will sometimes help you find better information or resources. Another tip to improve your searches is to use similar phrases to the questions being asked. Like using synonyms for words, searching similar phrases that are in the question may help you find information or resources you are looking for. Using main ideas, synonyms, and similar phrases will help you find the information that you are looking for and will make your research more efficient. The websites you use will shape your understandings of the questions that are being asked. Finding, evaluating, and using strong websites will help ensure that you are finding quality resources and good information to answer your research questions and ultimately your extended response. The website's domain is the first signal to the type of resource it is. Domains inform us of the organization or institution that's hosting the website. Domains such as .edu and .gov tend to be strong resources for this class. .edu domains are hosted by universities or colleges and are often created for informational purposes. The domain .com stands for commercial and are often created for the purpose of selling advertisements or products. These can be used for your research, but you must be aware that sometimes these can be biased or misleading. In that case, you would want to find a different resource. Domains are a start to help you determine if the website is a strong source, but understand just because a website ends in .edu or .gov does not automatically make it unbiased or misleading. Let's look at some examples of websites. First, let's look at a website that ends in .gov. This is a website that is hosted by the United States Library of Congress. To find out more about the Library of Congress and to determine if this is a reliable source, let's look for more information. I'm going to click on the Library of Congress tab. This takes us to a page that has links telling us about the library. If I click on that, I can find more information on the Library of Congress. I learned that this is the largest library in the world, and it's an agency for the legislative branch. This would be a good website for research. Let's look at another website that you may find while you research. This website is a .com website. This website is hosted by the History Channel. We can see that this is a commercial website. We can identify this easily because of all of the advertisements. Once you find a website, try to determine the purpose of the website. Was this website created to persuade you to believe something? Was the website created to try to sell you something? These are red flags that may prove that the website's information may have biased information or information that you cannot use. You may discover that the website was created for informational or educational purposes. That would be the best type of website for your research. Let's look back at our Library of Congress website. If we had clicked on the About the Library page, we see that the purpose of the library and the website is to be a source for the American people, the government, and Congress. This fact, and the fact that it is a government site for research, helps us to determine that this information will probably not be persuasive. Let's look at the History Channel site again. The purpose of this site is to sell stuff. Notice that this may appear to be legitimate because it has historical texts and even videos here. I want you to notice the advertisement for the television station, its programs, and even advertisements for outside products. These advertisements alone do not make the site unreliable, but when you see this, you do need to be careful. This site is actually a reliable site. The History Channel, while motivated by profit, also is a respected channel for its programming, and if it released false information, it would lose its credibility and eventually would lose its profits. Another way to evaluate the credibility of the website you are using to find information is to see if sources are listed or cited. Credible websites will provide you with sources of the information they are presenting. Sometimes these sources will be included within the text. An example of this would be if the website is discussing the Civil War and makes the statement, "According to Ken Burns, this happened." Ken Burns would be a source of information. Other times, websites will list sources of information at the bottom of the page or provide you a link to the source. Sources can help you determine if a website is a good resource. Just because a website provides sources does not necessarily make those sources credible. It may be beneficial to even research the sources. Let's look at our examples to see if we can find authors. When we click on our Library of Congress website, we see they don't necessarily have authors specifically listed. But if we click on something in here that we want to see, let's say at this Today in History, we'll be able to find authors. So we can scroll down through here. We see there's lots of links throughout here. But if we click on sources, this will give us a list of sources that helped with the information in that website there. This would provide credibility and reliability to the website we are using. Let's look at our history.com site. If we look on the site, there is no author or person that is listed that is responsible for the content. Again, this does not necessarily make the page unreliable, but it does make it more difficult to argue that it is reliable. Credible websites will often provide additional links. These links are often listed at the bottom of the page. This allows you to further research the topic that you are interested in. Following these links and reading or viewing the information can help you to determine the credibility of the information from the original website. Our Library of Congress website provided additional links throughout its website to help with this. Again, just because a website has additional links, it is not necessarily credible. A closer examination of the links is sometimes needed to determine if those links are useful. A website's domain, purpose, inclusion of sources, and links are a good start to determine the credibility or reliability of the information. It is easy for anyone to create a website and post information. You want to make sure the information you are using and the website you are using is reliable. Identifying the author or authors of a website can help you determine the credibility of a website. Anytime you are reading information, you should try to find out who the author is. Identifying the author will help you to determine if the website or the information is credible. Once you have identified the author, you may need to learn about the author. Some websites may give a brief biography of the author. You can always Google the author's name to determine if the author is credible. Googling their name will help you learn about the author. After you identify the author and learn a little bit about him or her, you need to determine if they are a credible source of information. What makes them credible? Are they an expert on this issue? Strong credentials would include being published, being a college professor, or consulting on the topic for respected groups. Learning about the author will give you an indication to the credibility of the author. Identify the author. Google their name to learn about them, and then determine whether they are credible or not. It is important for you to analyze the content of any source that you use. Content should be current, accurate, and unbiased. It is important for you to find current information when you are researching questions for this class. Even though this is a history class, and what has happened in the past has happened in the past, new discoveries are always being found that change our interpretation of what has happened. Look for resources that are current so that they include the most recent research and discoveries. Use accurate resources for your research. The best way to make sure the source is accurate is to compare its information with other sources. Examine at least 3 sources of information for each research question to determine if your source is accurate. The information in each source should be similar. Sometimes you will find sources that contradict each other. You need to really analyze these sources and differences and may need to do some further research. This will sometimes lead you to not using those sources or learn that historians do not have consensus on what actually happened. The content in your sources should be unbiased and not persuasive. Websites that state opinions are often biased, and you should stay away from those sources for this class. Comparing different sources of information will sometimes also reveal bias or opinions. For this class, we want to use factual websites because we are focusing on what actually happened in the past.